is the first system of the last calendar month. Okay, guys, some technical word I'm just sharing. So before I got the so today I'm very much highly privileged. So I'm going to talk about it. Do the ground rules first. Correct. So what is the first ground rule? The first and most important ground rule that I believe that helped me over the years to grow in this project is emptying my cup. So I would request all of you to extend your left hand, right, and hold a virtual cup, okay, and pour everything that is going on your mind, right? You put your worries, your last week's plans, rejections, right? Yesterday you have shown plan and the person already said yes, sent money, and you are just thinking that what to do with the money, right? You're very happy. And there is another plan today who is mostly probably going to sign up, right? Already said that I'm coming with my checkbook. Okay. So all the worries that was there in the last week, something that you are gunning for as of now, but you don't know that how it is going to happen, right? Business related, personal life related, everything you need to put into that cup. Now, once you feel heavy, the cup is getting heavier, right? What do you need to do is that you need to pour the cup to the Mother Earth. And since you people are sitting, so American giant, of course, fresh fruits and produce segments. And he was the, you can say that high flyer in all of these companies. In fact, his last role was of a country engineering manager, UAE. Okay. And the UAE division of Del Monte Foods, and he reached his accolade at the age of just 28, right? So an achievement, but I believe that that is not what he is here for. He's here for that what he has done in this business. So you understand that what was his mindset? Due to his work ethics, his hardworking nature, he has climbed the corporate ladder very fast. It's okay. But while he was growing fast in his corporate career, he realized that he does not want to be a corporate slave for the rest of his life. That was his statement, mind statement, right? So उसने सोचा कि चलो मैं अपना कुछ करूंगा तो और बेहतर कर पाऊंगा. So if I'm going to start and working for myself, I can do really well. Correct? And then he started his business roughly 4 years ago. And within a span of 1.5 years, he fired his boss. Okay? So he's a full-timer and building this business massively in Pakistan. And not only he confined his business territory only to Pakistan, but he has also expanded his international right markets to Middle East and Europe as well in today's day. Okay. Now his success speaks through his ranks. He is not only a Sapphire Stars, but today he's proudly carrying one of the highest number of Sapphire Stars in his organization. Right? I was lucky enough to be a part with him in ISB camp. So personally, it is very strange from coming from a boy, but he is very handsome and very good looking. Okay, so yeah, girls, So please, unfortunately, he's married. Okay, but he has a great smile. Like he can really win your heart, and I'm damn sure that he has win other like someone's heart through that smile itself. But the best part is that he speaks from his heart, right? I have seen his emotional part as well. I was also lucky enough to serve in last week on along with him, and also in last week on he was we were into the same group, right? um, so the best part is that the charismatic career, right, the character that he carry with him is a very high energy. So probably that is the reason it reflects in his team as well. Okay, now why he has to share a lot? Because you understand he is getting those successes that most of us right now aspiring for. He's a he's a builder of sapphire stars, one of the warrior of our beloved VP SHARFUN, right? Can I give? Can you please? Yeah, our beloved, one of that lady that she is building this person, right? So guys, I don't want to delay anymore, because if I keep talking about him, I have a lot of attributes I wanted to really talk about. I have really thought कि मैं ये बोलूंगा वो बोलूंगा, but ultimately I don't want to delay anymore. So guys, get ready, and I want your huge applause or silent, that silent clap for this beautiful speaker, right? One of the very close, you can say the brother from another mother, Ryan, right? You ready? Guys, please, no. Asani, energy, man. Guys, we need a lot of huge energy with a love on affections. Please help me. Welcome our beloved speaker for today, Mamoon tasneem.
साथ आसमां चीरे अब साथ समंदर पीरे चल साथ सुरों में कर दे के ऐलान हिम्मत है तो रोको और जुर्रत है तो मारो रे आज हथेली में रखती है जान खून में तेरे मिट्टी मिट्टी में तेरा खून खून में तेरे मिट्टी मिट्टी में तेरा खून ऊपर अल्लाह नीचे धरती बीच में तेरा जुनून
tasneem.
Yes, good morning. Hope things are good. Okay, so thank you, Sumanta. While Sumanta was talking, I could recall all the times that you spent together, and I'm very blessed to know Sumanta as a person also. So our friendship, our brotherhood actually started back in actually ISU that we met in CTC also. So
Yeah.
So he was telling, I was actually impressed. I said, yeah, what? So coming from a boy, it's different. Yeah. So I said, what a handsome man. Yeah. What a charismatic personality. So that's where actually we served together in our LS also together. So that was the CTC LS, and then we were very lucky to attend our ISP together. And luckily, we were in the same team. So yeah, very blessed to have a brother like Sumanta. So guys, this is this. How many of you are listening to me for the first time? Okay, the more people are listening to me for the first time, better. That means I can tell old stories also. Okay, so I tell you, I might be looking like a zombie right now. From last 1 week, I had so I was in LDC. Any of you went for LDC? Okay, so I was in Malaysia. Last night I only came, and so LDC. Okay. Okay, okay. So I was there in Malaysia as I was serving in an event, and then so LDC. How many of you have heard about LDC? Good camp, no? Sweet camp.
Very sweet.
So I was there as in so as in service also you realize a lot of things. The only difference is your life is tougher actually because you have to serve also and then you have to do all the arrangements also. So from last 1 week my sleep cycle has been not disturbed, it's shattered. Okay, I probably slept for 4 hours in a week, and then I had to travel. And most the cherry on the top was last 2 days I was with our coach only, VP SHARFUN. So I was very blessed. Ke, from breakfast till night, till the time she doesn't throw me out of her suite, I was there only learning from her, listening her, understanding how. So yeah, so I'm charged up. अभी मुझे करंट हाथ लगाओगे ना करंट लगेगा. So yeah, I just got back and I heard from my upline that I have to talk to all you beautiful souls. So let me have a run through of how many people sitting here. When I'm saying how many people sitting here, I'm talking about the people who are sitting here, not the videos off. Videos off, you are not sitting there, no. Well, guys, when do you switch your video off? And you don't want the other person to look at you what you're doing, right? Well, if I'll talk to you, how would you feel? Good, not good. Good, not good. Not good. We talk like this. Yeah, no, you can't, right? So I'm talking to the people who have videos on because they are there. सही है, fit है. So guys, since you don't know much about me, I'll quickly tell you a bit about my background. I'm a mechanical engineer. मैंने क्यों engineering की मुझे भी नहीं पता. I think there is a statement ना कि बेटा होगा तो engineer, बेटी होगी तो doctor. I was a beta and that's why I think I got into engineering. I still don't know why I did engineering. So how many engineers in the house? I know you. So we heard all those stories, no? Engineers, high pay, ye, wo. So when I started, I had a salary of $130 monthly. Yeah, my first salary was $130. And I still remember when I started off, even that $130 from starting as a student suddenly become earning $130. I also used to feel like the king of the jungle. Now I have a lot of money. Hey, that was definitely not a lot of money. As a couple of years passed by, I started understanding it's shit. It's nothing actually. You can't do anything. But in the span of 6.5 years, one of the major things that have been pushing me was the life that I wanted to give to my family, the life that I wanted to give to my parents. Because I come from a very typical middle class family background, and coming from that sort of background, you understand the value of things because you have seen your parents sacrificing everything for you. So coming from that background, I immediately in 6 months time, 7 months time, I started understanding this money is not going to do anything actually. So first 15 days I used to spend in order to first 15 days in the month. These were the days where I used to feel, okay, I have some money in my account. Next 15 days, I used to count the days so that next transaction can happen into my account. How many of you lived that way? Yeah. Been there. I'll tell you, the beauty is we are working on a platform. Today, I don't think before spending money. So today we are working on a platform which can actually change everything for you and your family in a couple of years only. So starting from there, I've predominantly worked in 3 companies. I've worked for 4.5 years in Pakistan and almost 2 years in Dubai. So one of the things, as I told you, pushing me was to change the life, to change everything around my family. And for that, the only rasta that I could see was actually job. Well, I come from a job background. So even in my childhood, when I used to ask my parents that why don't we do business, my father used to tell me, for you to do business, you need millions of rupees. And millions you can't have from the job. So at least savings you can never have. Right? So the only rasta that I could saw was grow very fast. Malab, the journey that normal people cover in 30 years, why can't I cover that journey in 10 years? Why can't I become a director or a head of a segment for a country in 10 years? And that's how I actually started challenging the status quo. And God has been very kind, grew fast. In 7 years, I reached the point where I wanted to reach actually. The salary was 7-figure now. Things were growing. I was single at that point in time. So how many of you think good place to be? Shit place to be. Now I'll tell you why. Why shit place to be? Because when I had $130 in my account, I was the king of the jungle. I could say anything what I want to say. But when I was drawing 7-figure salary, I am telling you guys, from 9 a.m. in the morning till 9 a.m. next day also, I have to be available on phone. I have to be available on emails. So I was a country. I was taking care of operations for segments of engineering and projects for UAE, and my counterpart was 45 years old. Dear friend from India only, by the way. So he was taking care of regional sales and export for the company, and he just was one fine day. We went to the office, and he was called. So all of us were sitting together. It was a day meeting. Yeah, day starting meeting. And all of us were sitting there, and suddenly HR came and HR said the name of the gentleman and asked him to come to HR. And he was also country head, okay? Been there with the company for more than 15 years. Had an experience for more than 22 years in corporate. He was called in the HR, asked to leave the company on 1 day's notice. You know why? Just because he couldn't respond to an email from McDonald's at 2 a.m. in the night, and McDonald's was pushing them for some whatever they were pushing, but he couldn't respond to the email actually. And in order to cover up, then one of the person has to become scapegoat. How many of you can relate to what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's when I actually, you all understand Hindi also? Hindi, Urdu. So today I'll be taking this system in English. English means Hindi and English both. Okay. If you don't understand, don't worry. We'll cover that in one of the two languages. So that was the time actually जहाँ पे ना दिमाग में आने लग गया कि यार मैं भाग तो बोल रहा हूँ, but direction ठीक है. The direction of running, I might be running fast, but the direction definitely is not right. So PK movie देखिए, PK में वो कहते हैं ना wrong number लग गया boss. So then that was the time frame when I realized wrong number लग गया, and I don't want to continue that. If I've realized that what I have done is not going to take me to the point where I want to be, then why am I living the decision? If you understand, a lot of people do a silly mistake, and this also I learned from our coach only. I became an engineer. The decision of that becoming an engineer was a decision of a kid of 16 years old actually. And just because that kid took a decision, I had to live my entire life according to the decision of a 16-year-old. A lot of people do this mistake. Then they live the entire life living a decision of their own self when they were 16, 17. So I was lucky and fortunate enough that while all of that was happening, I started QNET actually. So QNET found me. And that's where everything actually started changing. So first 1.5 years I worked in parallel, and after coming to a point where survival was not a problem, that's when I actually went full-time into the business. So it's been now more than 3 years that I've been taking care of expansion as a full-time entrepreneur. And I'm living in Pakistan right now. So this is pretty much my background. I think that can be relevant on both personal as well as professional friends. By the way, we are 3 siblings. Okay, I have the elder one is the one who recommended me in the business, who referred me in the business. Harun Tasneem is my upline also, and I have a younger brother. He's also in the business, by the way. So we are 3 brothers, all 3 in the business now. So the third one is the younger one. He just got activated. Not activated. He just got active actually. Okay. So tell me, what do you want me to talk today? Sorry guys, while you are about to write whatever you have to write, I'd like to have a agreement with us. Okay. So you understand the base of any relationship is communication, right? So right now you all are getting involved in a relationship with me, okay? Because when I've come into your life and you have come into my life, that means the relationship is getting started. So I'd like to have the base alignment first. So I'd like you to communicate with me. I don't want to talk to a wall. You understand? Wall, मतलब दीवार के आगे मैं कुछ नहीं करना. I'd like you to talk, okay? And I understand you can't talk because you might be on mute. So the way to communicate is sign language. If you are aligned to what I am saying, or you can feel that, you can do this thumbs up. Can all of us do that? Good. See, look at you. If you're not aligned for some reason, ऐसा नहीं है कि मेरे से मानना ही मानना है. If you're not aligned, you can do this also, no problem. Okay, at least communicate. That's what I'd request. So what do you think? What do you think shall we talk about today? And you can go to chat and you can throw whatever you want. All right, talk about anything. Quitters and winners. Your journey after starting the business and challenges in the mindset. Closing. So I'll talk about my journey, definitely. I'll talk about my journey and how did you create highest number of sapphire anchors? Real life challenges were learning how to be connected with an upline. This is how can you first earning from QNET. So okay, so I actually bought a mobile phone. So somebody asked what did I do from my first earning from QNET. So when I started the journey, I was coming from a very typical middle class family background. While you are earning more, also you are thinking like a middle class only. So I was using 2018 May. I was using 2018 January. I moved to Dubai. 2018 February. I actually started the QNET. So I was finding something, okay. And so I was using iPhone 6, and that too I bought some already used one. Okay, so somebody used it for a couple of months. So I thought, why to buy brand new? Okay, unnecessary. If I can save 6,000 rupees also, it's fine. Now why to waste money? So I bought an iPhone 6, which was already used for a couple of months. So when I started the business, my first earning, I actually used that to buy an iPhone X. That was the latest phone. So I did it in first 1 month. I bought the iPhone X. Okay, so since you asked it, Okay, how come you were consistent every day? I was not consistent every day. Somebody asked me questions. If you are asking small questions, I am giving you small answers साथ also. Okay, I was not consistent every day, especially in at the start, and that is why I have actually grown slow. So if any of you think I have grown fast, no, I have not grown fast. Where I am standing today, I could have been standing here 2 years back. So I was not consistent at the start. And I'll tell you, probably let's talk about that only today. So I was not consistent, okay? And the major reason was somebody asked me a question, how to be connected with an upline. That's where I was struggling. So those of you who do not know the background, uh, so I am a hot zone, okay? How many hot zones sitting here? So I was a hot zone. So, but the funny part was me and my elder brother Harun, we have been together since childhood, okay? As in we have gone to the same. He's my elder brother, 1 year elder, so 1 year doesn't count also. So we both went to the school together, class, everything same, okay? Um, so somehow he was not a brother to me. He was a friend, and in both of our relationship, he was the sweet child, and I was a child that you don't want. So he was the first child, okay? So the first child is the planned one. I always say this in a witty manner that he was the planned one, I was the unplanned one. I just came. So when I came also to this world, now the problem was he is the elder one and very responsible, how the elder ones are normally. And I was the last thing that can be related to me is responsibility. I was not the responsible one. So he was very good in studies. He was the son that one can be proud of, okay? And I was the son that one should hide. So I was that son, okay? But since we both came to this world, I had to make my place. So I always say I was a survivor. So he was very good in studies. What he was not good in was protecting himself. So I became his protector. I used to. So he was also a topper, and I was also a topper. Both of us have been toppers throughout our life. But he used to top from the top, and I used to top from the bottom. Okay. So since topping from the bottom means I was very consistent in one thing, and that was ensuring that if there are 28 people in the class, the 28th position should not go anywhere else. That was what I was. Okay. So coming from that side, it was very natural for me to become good in the things that my elder brother was not good at. So I became good in sports. I used to focus on sports only. I started becoming good in faddas, fights, Bollywood movies. I also used to watch even when I was a kid. So I realized faddas are cool. So I started getting good at that. And till the age of 14, I was like that. Malab, you can understand one simple thing. So in our school, so at the 10th standard, you have to appear in board exams, right? I hope India would also be the same. In the 10th, you'd have to go through board exams. So I have studied from PEPS, a school in Gujarat, and you can understand how good I was in studies, that in 8th standard, out of the entire school, I hold a record. And the record was I was asked by my school to appear in the 8th board also. Because if I don't appear in 8th board, I might affect their result, their average of result in the 10th standard. So I was the only one out of my entire school who was asked to appear in the 8th exams, the board exams. If I clear that, then only they'll allow me to sit in 9th and 10th. So that's the background. That's the sort of a good person I was actually. Because somehow I never understood the importance of studying well actually. I thought it's not my cup of tea. I'll do something else. And why I was telling you, because Harun bhai was the sweetest child that one can have. So all of us in our family, we used to say Harun is the simple guy. and Mamoon is the one who's the crooked actually. So Mamoon should go into the business and Harun should go into the job. Now this has been our upbringing throughout our life, okay? And then suddenly, long story short, then I became responsible. I started studying also. Something happened in my family. I realized I cannot, I don't want my parents to not be proud of me. I wanted my parents to be proud of me. So some things started changing. And after 8th class, I actually started studying. And then I became better in studies. And then I became a topper also. And then I got in, so all the universities in Pakistan, I got admitted. I got my admission from there. And then when I graduated from NUST. Those of them who are in Pakistan, they understand what NUST is. So by the end of my studies, I was a changed person, okay? But I was not like that. So why I'm telling you all of this? Because when Harun Bhai actually started the business, he was a cold zone sign up. So cold zone, when you're cold zone, that means Harun Bhai actually signed, Harun Bhai moved to Dubai in 2017. Okay. And why I'm telling you this? Because I think my journey is very much dependent upon that also. So he moved to Dubai in 2017 and he started going at a meetup event basically. There's a community in Dubai called Internations. So he started attending Internations events actually. And that's where he got prospected by somebody from India actually, whom he never met before, whom he never knew before. And he just signed up suddenly. Okay. With somebody that he never knew of also. And now for Harun Bhai, we all used in the family, we used to say he's the simple Sharif bacha. Anybody can make a fool out of him. That's what we used to say. And I used to be the Teda bacha. So it was my responsibility to protect my brother also. So the funny thing is, when Harun Bhai started, he told me that I have started something, okay? And that time I was in Pakistan. I was engineering manager for Unilever. And I was finding something to do in parallel to my job, because somewhere I started realizing that job's not going to take me to where I want to reach. So I was trying different things. Okay, I was in a job. I invested a small amount of money with my friend in a cafe. Uh, I started running an engineering services company in parallel to my job, because I couldn't leave the job. The sort of background that I come from, I had dependence upon myself, so I couldn't afford to leave the job. So so I was trying here and there, and I was figuring out what can I do in life. What is it that I can start that allow me to be financial? Harun Bhai basically called me, and he said, so I'll say this in English, in Urdu only, Urdu or Hindi. Okay. So he said, "यार मैंने कुछ start किया है." I was looking for something, and this was the first time that he has started something without even checking with me. Okay, we used to do anything and everything together only. So my ego, you understand ego? My ego started getting pinched. I said, "What have you started? Tell me." I said, "You have started already, or you are thinking about starting?" He said, "No, I have started already." What have you started? He said, "A business." Hello, what business? He said, "बताऊंगा." पहले ऐसा कौन सा काम है जो बता नहीं सकते? पहले बताओ अभी. He said, नहीं अभी नहीं बताऊंगा, अभी मुझे खुद जरा कर लेने दे समय. मैंने अकेले स्टार्ट किया. He said, no, with a friend. I said, which friend? In Pakistan? Tell me, I'll meet him. He said, no, India. I said, how come you started something? So you understand, guys, we both come from the countries where media has told us a very different story about the people on the other side of the border. I thought there are 8 billion people on this planet, and you find 1% to start with, and that too Indian. Now, we all at times I jokingly say that in our countries that we come from, the barometer to measure how much you love your country does not depend upon how much you love your country. It depends upon how much you hate India or Pakistan. so so that is how we actually start from. And I'll tell you guys, just to tell you, today the most important people in my life are Indians. Just to tell you this, I never thought that I would do anything for somebody from India. Okay, VP Sharfun, I can probably jump a cliff without even asking the second question. Manish Gowalani, I can do anything for him. And there are so many friends actually today in my team who are from India. So I'm telling you the old me. Okay, today I'm a different me. But so I said, you didn't fight anybody except except an Indian to start off with. Man, how come you know him? He said, no, I just met him a month back. I said, you are stupid or what? He said, you shut up. Let me do what I'm doing. Okay, I'll tell you. I said, okay. Now, आग तो लगी हुई थी कि यार ये कैसे हो गया, इसने स्टार्ट कर दिया, मुझे बताया भी नहीं. And then he attended VCon in 2017. Okay. So when he attended VCon, came back from VCon, I still remember he called me up and he told me, Mamoon, remember I told you about the business? I said, yeah, you told me. Nothing about the business, but yeah, you told me. He said, so when we are new, you understand, we are judging business also, we are judging ourselves as well, right? So he was judging himself also. He said, Mamoon, both of us have always been working hard for our family, right? I said, yeah. He said, business I have started, but I don't think I can do this business as good as you can do. I said, acha. He said, but even if one of us do it right now, the life of entire family can change. I said, acha. He said, I just met people who are young people, change their lives in 2 to 5 years' time. I said, okay, tell me what to do. He said that I'll tell you later. You tell me how much money you have. Now I was a hot zone, okay? And I was looking for something also. So he said, he knew. Now I used to share everything with him. So I had kept 3 lakh rupees with me because I got promoted as a manager. So I was getting a car from Unilever. So for that car, I had to pay 20% down payment, 3 lakh, and remaining they'll deduct from my salary. So I was saving my money for my car, okay? And he said, you have how much money you have? I said, I have this much money. He said, yeah, I know, transfer me that money. We'll start together. I said, okay, no problem. Because common sense I had, okay? I understood 3 lakh, if I put in a car, all the money is gonna get wasted, actually. My life will not be changed. But if 3 lakh I put into business and I work hard, everything can change. So I actually started off back in 2017. 21st September was the first day I signed up. 6 months I did not do anything. 6 months. Now that's a different story. So there are a lot of stories in my journey. But why I did not do anything? Because there is something that comes to everybody's home. That's called Google Baba. You understand Google? So I was not shown the plan. I was not shown the VV. I was not shown anything. And late night around that day, 20th September, I transferred the money. 21st September, I was sitting and doing some Excel working for Google. I'm saying for Unilever, I was doing some working. Suddenly a message came, an email came, welcome to QNET. Welcome later Tripsaver also. These 2 emails came. I said, what is QNET? Now I went to Google. And then I started searching Google. And उस रात हम बहुत पिए. बहुत पिए. इतना पिए कि सुबह तक I was extremely negative. Okay. As when you talk to me about anything about QNET on the negative side, I can tell you that. On the morning, I told Arun, you have made an ass out of yourself and mine also. It's okay. But I am not going to do it. And I will not let you do it also. So, so that's why I actually started. So when I started on a foot of doubt actually. Okay. So I called up Harun Bhai and Harun Bhai told me, you are a stupid guy. Why you did Google? I said, what? You are You are telling me why I Googled, and you're telling me because I Googled I'm stupid. You are stupid. You did not Google and you started. He said, no, no, I also Googled, but I know today everything. I said, Acha, then give me my answers. He said, no, answers I can't give because I knew. And it's logically very understandable also. New person cannot answer everything. So I said, okay, tell me the scammer who scammed you. I'll talk to that person. I was coming from that side, okay? And then he said, no, he's not a scammer. He's my friend. He's my brother, this, that. He said, I'll set up a meeting for you both to get to convince each other. If you convinced him that this is a scam, I'll not do it. If he convinced you this is not a scam, then you do it with me. I said logical deal, makes sense. And I was ready to convince the other person that this is a scam. So I did my working, corporate people, how they work. So I did a working of 35 pages. I did all the research on QNET, the negative sides. I made a mathematical model on Excel also how this company cannot survive after 28 levels. And then I met Fahim Bhai. Okay. So Fahim Khan is my working upline. So then I met him. And that was the first day. And when I was meeting him on Zoom, actually, I knew in my head he's a scammer, actually. So when he was coming, also, I was coming from the point of doubts, and I met him. And I said, okay, listen, I'm not interested in the business. You give me these answers. If this is how it is, then we'll think about it. And then Fahim Bhai being Fahim Bhai, he actually handled everything to the manner that after 2.5 hours, all my questions were answered, actually. So I had nothing to hide and nothing to that was. So I was a Teda person, but I was logical enough to understand also. So you give me logic, if I'm convinced, I'm fine with it. So after 2.5 hours, I was convinced that this is not a scam because I actually Googled only scam. That's why all the negative things came. After 2.5 hours, I was logically convinced that the business is good. The industry is $190 billion revenue generator. The company is growing for last 24 years, and the company has started from nothing. And today, one of the top 4 Asian direct selling giants. I started understanding that there is something that I was missing, and I got my answers. But I said, okay, I'll start, but I'll start on my own terms. How many people do this problem? Or how many of you can relate to what I'm saying? I said, I'll start, but I'll do it my way. Okay. And Fahim said, okay. But for now, just don't tell. For first 2 weeks, don't focus on building business. Focus on understanding how this business gets built. I said, okay, no problem. I got off the call, of the Zoom call. I immediately called up my 4 friends. I said, भाई को business मिल गया, life change होने लगी है, मेरे घर आ जाओ. Now my upline just told me not to talk. I said, okay. I immediately called 4 people because who is that guy to tell me what to do, what not to? Huh? I have lived my 28 years on my own. I can do better. He doesn't know me. And I did the call to 4 friends. He came, all those 4 came to my house. And you guys should understand, I was not gone through financial plan. I was not gone through the M2. The only thing was I got some answer that I was willing to do something in life. But the problem was, and I think this is a problem that a lot of people face, that the one that I also went through, is when you started your career, whatever you have been doing before QNET, if you go to your day one, you will find one thing in common. And that is, when you start, you know that you know nothing. When you start your journey in the life, especially in jobs, on day one thing is common in everybody. All the people know that they know nothing about what they have started. In job, they are nobodies. How many of you can relate to what I'm saying? When I started in my job, I knew I am nobody in this company. I am nobody in this job. I know nothing about the profile or how the work needs to be carried out, that actually make me come to a point of becoming a student. So I was willing to become a student actually when I was starting my journey of corporate. Now, as a student, whatever was thrown to me, I was willing to learn that. But the problem is, when I started this journey, I was not a student actually. Now my experience of last 7 years was starting with me. Now my baggage of all the past successes that I had were starting with me. Now I was not as receiving as I probably would have when I was starting my journey at the age of 21. When I started my journey at the age of 21, I was in a more receiving mode. I was more of a student. But when I started QNET, the biggest problem was Mamoon started as somebody, not a nobody. And that somebody actually was not allowing me to follow the system or follow whatever was being told to me 100%. And that's where actually the problem started. So I called up 4 friends, all of them came. I showed the plan to them, whatever I learned from Google. And 4 of them, 2 of them at the end of the plan said, Mamoon, if you are doing it, we'll do. One of them said, Mamoon, this looks like that M&M thing, no? MLM. I said, no, it's not MLM. This is not MLM. It's a hybrid selling model. Fancy words. I said, it's a hybrid selling model, this, that. He said, no, but it still looks like the same thing, tree. Now I was 1 day old. And the problem was what he was saying, I also felt the same 1 day back. So the people who were willing to tell me, yes, I forgot those two. I said, yeah, what you're saying makes sense. And he actually convinced me to have a thought over whether we all 4 should start or not. Now I was somebody who had decent credibility. All of my friends knew if there is something right, I'll tell them right. If there's something wrong, I'll tell them wrong. So they were willing, even then they were willing to put in money. But after 1 hour, I said, guys, you wait. I think let me think again whether to do it completely or not. Because I had no book, I had no videos. I was at a level of zero knowledge base. And knowledge actually gives you the confidence. Knowledge gives you the trust. Knowledge gives, well, it's like you are building Burj Khalifa without a foundation. एक आंधी आएगी और वो सारा कुछ नीचे, it will crumble down. And that's why after I sent those 4 back, I was again negative. But now I was not negative with respect to business, okay? Now I was negative, yeah, it's not my cup of tea. I'll not do it. And then for first 6 months, I did not do anything. My uplines used to call me. I did not listen only. My upline used to call me. I used to avoid his calls, and message my upline. I'm busy in a meeting. I'm in a meeting. Please text while I'm watching Netflix. How many of you have done that? Yeah, I've done that. Even then, after I'm here, okay? I am sitting in front of you and sharing all of this because the Mamoon who started the journey is not sitting in front of you right now. Mamoon who started the journey was a different Mamoon. Mamoon who's right now sitting in front of you is a different Mamoon. And that's the most important thing, that you get to have a self-check every day. So then the master plan actually played. In 2018 January, I actually moved to Dubai out of nowhere. I got a job from Del Monte as a senior role. I got salary grew by 8 times. I said, I'm single. This is a good time to move to Dubai and make some money, because if I'll have more money, I can do much more with that money, right? Even then, QNET was not somewhere in the picture, anywhere in the picture actually. So I moved to Dubai, and that's where actually things started changing. when I went on ground, as in when I went to Dubai, I was lucky enough to attend a system. So I attended a system, and in system I saw that there were so many people from different profiles, from different corporate profiles, from different backgrounds, who were actually involved. So in Pakistan, when I'm telling you my story, guys, my case was a bit different, because in Pakistan, when I started, actually in Punjab, there was nothing. So there was a team working in Karachi, and I've been very blessed that they were working there, and I got all the early sport in my early years from them. Whatever sport that I asked of, I got the sport in the early years. So, but there was actually nothing on ground on the side of the country where I was working. So for me, QNET was just some XYZ thing. So it might have been a big company in some other part of the world, but in Pakistan, I thought this is not something big. So if something is not big, it cannot give me big results. That's how we think. Na? So I was not, so for first 6 months, I did not do anything. You might have some hots in your organization whom you signed up and are not doing anything. And you might think they are gone. I was exactly like that. So I actually got started back in 2018 February when I attended the first system, and then things started changing. So the thing actually, why even I attended my first system is because of something called a relationship. So I still remember my first week in Dubai. Okay. How many have been to Dubai? Now, my first week in Dubai, I worked for 5-6 days in job. For the weekend, I had my plans ready. You know, first time to Dubai, single. Morning I'll go to beach. Evening I'll go to this club. Then first club, second club, third club. I had my entire planning done for the weekend. That my weekend is going to be the happening weekend. And suddenly my elder brother told me, Mamoon, you're ready for the system tomorrow? I said, what system? He said, it's Friday. We have to go and attend a training of QNET. I said, you go and attend. You are doing QNET. I'm not. I have some other important plans. He said, what plans? I said, I have to go to beach. He said, come on, you attend this training, then you can go to beach, na? I said, no. I have my entire day booked. I am very busy. I can't go anywhere else. Everything is scheduled, you know. And that's the first time actually he used the relationship actually to attend, to push me to attend that system, because he knew I was serious to do something in life. It's just that I was not seeing that QNET can give me that big thing. And he did the emotional blackmailing and whatever he can do. And I said, it's okay. It's only for 2 hours. He said, yeah, 2 hours only. I said, I'll go to the system. But after the system, you promise me you'll not say or push me to stay there. I have my plans, okay? He said, yeah, okay. And the first thing that happened was I stepped into the system, holiday in Dubai. And there were some odd 800 people there. And I said, oh shit, this is big. 800 people doing something. I'm sure all 800 would not be fools for the sake of choosing the right word. All 800 would not be fools, na? And then I started seeing I was analyzing the profiles of the people from different backgrounds, directors also, senior managers also, mid-level managers also, student also, housewives also, working ladies also. So I was understanding the profile is very diversified. So for the first realization was, I realized that there are so many people doing it. Probably I have not understand what the business is, but I was just analyzing everything, how the new people do actually. And then VC Puja Varagiwala, that system was taken by VC Puja Varagiwala. Okay. So then the edification started. And the person who was edifying VC Puja Varagiwala, he was telling all the good things about her. Somewhere deep down in my heart, I wanted to have those things. I wanted to help people. I wanted to be, so I was always people's person. Okay. So when he told that somebody who was not only successful, she has changed a lot of lives. I could feel that because I wanted to be there. And when the person said um, that this speaker that's coming, this speaker is a diamond star. I said, what's so my elder brother was sitting beside me. I said, what's a diamond star? He said, diamond star is a rank in QNET. So the person who's a diamond, he makes $20,000. I said, that much do I also make in my job. He said, no, what you make is monthly. What this person makes is weekly. I said, okay, from this business. From this business. He said, yeah, from this business. And then we were told that she's a double TC diamond star max out. I said, what's double TC? He said, you know $20,000? I said, yeah. He said, double it. I said, what, $40,000? He said, yeah. I said, 1 week. Yeah. Now I was listening to the person who can she make $40,000 a week? I want to understand. And then she came and she shared. She was very simple lady, very simple, um, very simple, bubbly, chubbly person who was on the stage. And I realized, yeah, if she can do it, I can do it for sure. It's something that I've been missing. After that system, guys, I did not go to beach. I did not go, that day also. I did not go to beach. I did not go to any club. I said, let's understand what this business is. And that's when 4th February, I actually started the journey. So 4th February, I started. 22nd February, I did 5 signups on the same day. And that's how the journey actually initiated. Now the signups happened, the growth started. I had a team. Suddenly, in 1 week, I had a team of. So in 4 days, I did 70 hours. Now I was ready. That suddenly, out of nothing, in 4 days, I had a team size of 8-9 people. So I was ready to take the team forward. But the biggest mistake actually that started, again, the same. I was not a student when I started. So I did those 70 whatever I did. But now the point is, this is about building people. And there's a difference. Sometimes union doesn't understand. So I brought certain people to the business, but I never knew how to build it. And that's where the role of a person comes upline. So I loved my upline who referred me, but I knew nothing about my upline who was supposed to be my upline. Because my referral upline was also new. By that time, he had only 1 DR, that was me. Okay. And I started, and out of nowhere, I did 7 DRs. So in my mind, in my head, I already was, how I used to think that time. In my head, I was already better than my upline. So when I started, my brother had only me. And when I started, I had 7. In my life also, I have been told. So in my head, I was better than my upline. So why to follow? So I was not willing to listen to the person who referred me. So guys, today the things that I'm telling you are the perfect recipes to fail the business. Okay. If you want to fail, you do exactly what I did initial days. And if you want to grow fast, then you don't do what I've done in the initial days. So I was not willing to listen to my upline. Now the second upline is my working upline, Fahim Khan. He was very aggressive in nature, and I also was very aggressive in nature. He used to push me, and I used to say, hey, who are you? Why are you telling me this? Who are you? I don't even know you. I know my brother. I'll listen to him just to tell him shut up. This was my way of shutting down one of my uplines so that I can follow Harun Bhai that I already am not following. Guys, just a second. Okay. So one upline, I told I'll I told everybody that I'll follow him, but in my head I knew I don't have to follow him. Second upline who used to push me, I used to tell him, you and me, we are not on the same page. I don't know anything about you, so you don't tell me anything. Whatever you have to say, tell my brother and he'll tell me. Now the upline, even no, the reality is I had two uplines, and there was another senior upline, Manish. So Manish Golani was somebody that I actually used to feel very. So he's today not active in the business. He is retired already. But in my early days, I used to respect him a lot. Okay, so he was somebody that I could relate to. But the reality is he had a far bigger team, and I was a nobody. So I could not get all the time from him. So one upline I wanted to listen to, but the reality was he could not give me all the time because he had far bigger team. The other upline who wanted to help me, I could not allow him. I never allowed him to help me. And the third upline who referred me, he knew nothing to help me actually. He was himself new. And this is the perfect recipe to disaster. Okay. Because now the team is here. I have 7, 8 people with me. They want to do something, but what to do? Nobody was guiding them directly because so you understand the relationship in between your heart and your organs. What does it do? Heart is basically pumping the blood, pumping, 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 pumping. And the blood has to circulate in the entire body. What does the blood do? The blood takes oxygen with it, right? That actually keeps the cell alive. I don't want to make it a biology class, but that's what it does, right? What I started doing was, this is my working upline, okay, heart. This is my team, my downlines. And this is me holding all the blood not to move to my organs. So I never knew what I was doing. I was just telling my upline, you can't talk to my team because this is my team. I'll tell them what to do, what not to. I knew nothing about the business or how to do it in the right way. I was just not allowing my wisdom to be passed on to these people. So I actually started becoming bottleneck. Result of that was in 2.5 months, all my people actually died. All my people. When I'm saying died, matlab, they told me, Mamoon, we don't think this business can change our life because nothing was changing. I myself never knew how to do it right. The people that I got in the business who can actually tell me what to change, I was not allowing them to change. And even if I was allowing them, I was allowing them conditionally. That this you can tell me, this I'll follow. This you can't tell me, okay? This I think better. I think better than you. So I started following conditionally. So today, if any of you while sitting here in the system, you realize you do that, nothing to be worried about. Okay. I also used to do it. It's not about doing it. It's about the day you realize and you correcting it. Okay. So in 2.5 months, 3 months, everything actually vanished. All my team stopped working. I was back to again one. That one was me. Okay, not back to zero, because that's another mistake that I've seen a lot of people do. They do a couple of DRs, the DRs don't do well, they think the life is gone. पीछे बैकग्राउंड पे गाना चल रहा होता है, छन से जो टूटे कोई सपना, जग सुना सुना लगे, all the emotional drama. Why? You only brought those people to the business, na? When you started, they did not start on day one with you. You only did it. You can do it again also. So if everything is gone, you are not going to zero. If everything is gone, you are still one. That one is what actually matters. So I said, it's okay. I'll not give up. So it was painful. But the good thing happened was, I had 3 people who were still willing to move a bit with me. Okay, move forward. They were my close friends. They were saying, okay, it's okay, we'll do. So they were just taking it systems, they were just attending trainings, but they were not doing the business in the right way. I said, upline, what to do? I am in pain. I had I built a team of 10, 15 people. They also did a couple of DRs, 1, 2 DRs. They also did. So in 1 month's time, I had a team of more than 15 people. I said, what to do? All 15 are not doing. There are only 2, 3 people who are there willing to do. Upline said, VCon is coming. and VCon can actually change everything. I said, okay, what is VCon? So upline said VCon is the most beautiful event that one can think of. If you manage to go to VCon and if you manage to help them to go to VCon, everything can change. I said, okay, let's go to VCon then. So April 2018, my VCon Malaysia happened. And I went there to VCon with 4 of my people, okay? So me and my 4 musketeers, 4 of us went to VCon. The funny part, in VCon, while I was sitting there, I was getting my answers left, right, center. I was getting blows. I understood what does it take for you, for a person to build this business. I understood the value of relationships to build this business. I was getting all my answers, where all the points I've dropped the ball, why my team was not doing well. I started getting my answers in the week on, because I was extremely switched on mentally. So मैं अक्सर मजाक से कहता हूँ, I'm a logical bhutia. You understand? Logically, if you convince me, I am ready to go to any length. Logically, I got my answers. Okay. Yeah, coming back from VCon, I was excited. I'll put fire to the world. 4 people went to VCon with me. They stopped working after VCon. Now what to do? I had few people. 4 went to VCon. Nobody is working now. I sat with my upline again. I said, how come VCon changes everything? And these 4 people went to VCon, and today I'm one again, back to one. And I got my answer actually. So guys, VCon is coming. My upline said, Mamoon, you know what VCon does? I said, what? He said, are you willing to give up? I said, no. He said, why? I said, because I went to VCon and I saw what this business is and what this business can do. He said, before VCon, was it there? I said, no, this is not there. VCon actually showed me what this business can do. He said, but you went to VCon. The only difference is you went to VCon in a seeking zone. You went to VCon seeking further answers. You just did not go to VCon. You went to VCon seeking answers of all the problems that have come your way, and that's why you were coming back from VCon. So VCon can do magic for you if you're in the seeking zone. I said, okay, I'll build. So I started again building. But now I'll tell you how I used to build. Okay. So AV, can we have a video? So how many of you would like to watch a video? Video number 1. Okay. How many of you have watched a movie called Dangal? It's a Bollywood movie, right? So guys, now when you are about to start this video, this is a very different dimension. I'd like you to watch it. I want you to watch this video from a dimension of upline downline relationship. So this Amir Khan that you're seeing is my upline actually, okay? He is my upline who wanted the best for me. And this was not my referral upline Harun Bhai. No, this was Fahim Khan. Okay. Whereas Harun Bhai was very new himself. He was not he never had that trespass. The Samar Khan is actually Fahim Khan, with whom I used to fight, because he was straight, he was direct, he was. So I'll tell you who I was. Play, AV play.
चाल चाल और तेज भाग बबीता
He's Bachcha Army, okay?
पापा सलवार कमीज में भागा नहीं जाता
Okay, so AV stop. So upline told me to do something, I gave some bullshit excuse. I can't run, huh? I can't come to PO every single day. I work also. All the excuses when our upline tells you do this. We first thing is we tell nah, this we can't do. And then upline figure out some way. This is upline figuring out some way. Okay. Play AV.
बापू सेहत के लिए
टुकड़ा नहीं है
बापू सेहत के लिए तू तो हानिकारक है बापू सेहत के लिए तू तो हानिकारक है हमको थोड़ी दया तो कर हम नन्हे बालक है हमको थोड़ी दया तो कर हम नन्हे बालक है डिसिप्लिन इतना डिसिप्लिन इतना खुद खुशी के
So this was me doing was sitting in the POA, but after 1-2 POA involves only, I used to say it's okay, I have done it, and then we used to sit with our downlines or cross lines and just doing bucker here and there, and then suddenly came, and I used to another mistake that I've seen. At times to our upline that we are doing something has to happen in reality. 4 plans must be taken out every single week. But at times when we start this journey, the problem is we start coming from a background of job where there has been a boss. So here also we at times do a mistake that we make our upline a boss, or we think of him as a boss. We try to show him, we do perception management. That's another mistake that I was doing there. I was trying, so when I actually planned to start building again after week on, there was a lot of perception that I was managing. In the POAs also, I was not doing my daily calls. I was not lining up as many plans as I was showing my upline that I was doing. And I had excuses to every problem. But upline being upline, he was not leaving my hand. He was being there, following up every single day. So this is my upline actually who was doing that. Yeah, you play.
लायक है बापू सेहत के लिए तू तो हानिकारक है हम पे थोड़ी दया तो कर हम नन्हे बालक है हम पे थोड़ी दया तो कर हम नन्हे बालक है डिसिप्लिन इतना डिसिप्लिन इतना खुद खुशी के लायक है बापू सेहत के लिए तू तो हानिकारक है
तो छोरों को पीटना की इतनी बड़ी सजा आज तक पूरे बस्सों में किसी को ना मिली होगी
गाली तो उसने मने दी थी ना तन्ने हाथ रुहानी की क्या जरूरत थी हैं
अब बता रही है
This is we doing gossip, sitting in the POA.
और नीचे तक क्या
चूरन खेल खिलौने उलझना पराठा
So this in my early thing, there was a routine being changed. Okay, there was routine being changed. Life, I was not getting a lot of results. In fact, I was going through pain, and there were a lot of friends around me who had normal life. They used to go to work, come back home, sit at their homes, watch TVs. On the weekends, they used to go out with their families, and myself, not being the mindset of an entrepreneur, I used to look at them, and the mistake was I used to life again is that they are enjoying their life. So they are traveling also. They are yeah, no problem, Savas, no problem. So by the way, guys, you can hear me all of my it's fine. Okay, is it better now? I have changed my internet actually. So it should be better now. If it is, let me know. Okay, it's fine. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Insaf. So I was telling you that in my first 6 months, I was actually this. So I was planning to build business also. So this is a time where I was getting the transition from an employee to an entrepreneur. And while I was going through those 6 months, I was not getting visible results also. The problem is when we don't get visible results, our upline is standing next to us telling us this is all possible, but we don't focus to look at our upline. Instead, we start focusing on the people around, the people who are enjoying normal lives, the people who are in their normal routines, go to work, they go to work, go to cinema, enjoy on the weekends. And this is exactly these two kids are doing what I used to do. I stopped focusing whenever results are coming or not coming. Instead of looking at my upline and keep on following him, I was easily getting distracted with the rejections, with the other people's life, with me not getting results. And that's where a lot of times mistake happens, that we lose focus. So this is what I actually went through. Okay, Avi, continue.
टाटा जब से बापू तूने डाटा जिस उम्र में शोभा देते मस्ती सैर सपाटा उस उम्र को नाप रहा है क्यों घड़ी का कांटा अपनी किस्मत की गाड़ी की खस्ता हालत है अपनी किस्मत की गाड़ी की खस्ता हालत है और हमारे बापू आ गए रे बापू और हमारे बापू इस गाड़ी के वाहन चालक है बापू सेहत के लिए अतुता हानिकारक है अन्ने बोला खट्टा तीखा खाना है माना जो तो टोर्चर है गाना रे यो तो टोर्चर है गाना वो मिट्टी की गुड़िया से बोले चल बड़ी बाणा
So while I was following my upline, rejections also used to come, no? So the guy, when these girls were passing through the street, they saw a guy who was smiling at them, right? At times, the mistake that I used to do was I stopped focusing on my upline and all the hard work that he's doing for me. He's putting me before his normal life. And I started focusing on the people who are rejecting me actually and laughing at me. And that's where, again, the mistake was when I used to look at the people who are laughing at me, I stopped following my upline, thinking what my upline probably is telling me is wrong. And I used to find ways how I can cut that and go back to the normal life. Why the journey has to be painful actually. So during that time frame, the most important thing that should have happened is I had to focus on my upline only and not the distractions. And when the upline was pushing them to jump in the river, that was my upline actually pushing me to start showing plans now. So he was telling me, go and take it better. My upline can take my team's plans better. I was not willing to take all the responsibility on day one from my upline, and I was not willing to go to do mocks also. That was also actually me only, how I was in my first year. Okay, play Avi.
जो तो टोर्चर है गाना रे यो तो टोर्चर है गाना
तू जो भी कहेगी सब कराएंगे मम्मी।
बस इस पहलवानी से बचा ले।
साल भर के लिए भूल जो कि थारी कोई माँ है।
Okay, stop. You know, this is also me only. When I used to get tough time from my upline Fahim Khan, I used to say my upline is bad. So I used to go to my other upline and I used to do gossip about Fahim Bhai. Yeah, I think there is some problem with his ways of working. Yeah, not everybody has to be this tough. Why don't you work with me? So then I used to go to my elder brother. Yeah, you are my blood brother. You tell me now. Why is Fahim Khan telling me everything? So this is also another mistake that at times I see people do. When one upline they're working with, that upline is giving them tough time, they try to find comfort in other uplines, which is the wrong thing actually. You cannot have multiple people telling you ways. Because if you listen to multiple people, you'll get yourself more confused. And that's actually what I used to do. Okay, play.
रे इतनी जल्दी भूल गई?
यो के बात कर रहा है महावीर? छोरियां और अखाड़े में इस उम्र में पाप करवावेगा के?
दिल लेने गया रे बचपन, झड़ गई फुलवारी, कर रहे हैं.
So, guys, at times when we are going through all of that, we forget that our upline is actually facing all the battles. There are so many battles before they come to us. Our upline actually takes them head on. Our upline filters a lot of problems that we receive. They are the solved problems actually. But I never looked at that side initial days. What all problems that Fahim was going through because of me, because of what all sacrifices that he was making to make things work for me. So our upline is doing a lot of things, but in the first year, we don't know that. We don't see that. So this is also me only, not even knowing what are the problems that my upline is going through. Because he's not only my upline only, he's my upline also, and he's also building business, right? So that's today, if I look back, I realize what all my upline has actually done for me. Yeah, we play.
जंग की तैयारी, सोते जगते छूट रही है आंसू की पिचकारी, फिर भी खुश ना हुआ मगर वो हम करे बलिहारी. तेरी नजरों में क्या हम इतने नालायक हैं, तेरी नजरों में क्या हम इतने नालायक हैं. ये तुझसे बेहतर तो ये तुझसे बेहतर अपनी हिंदी फिल्मों के खलनायक है. बापू से हद के लिए तू तो हानिकारक है.
पैर दाबेगी मेरे. मैं भी तो नहीं हुई पूछने वाली थी.
Yeah, stop it. So the last where upline takes the person to the dangle area, what he has actually made for them, is when you actually build a team of 10. So while you are going through all that grind, it is actually while you have hit your first milestone, that is building team of 10. While you are building that team of 10, you actually go through all of those hardships where you are going through rejections, where you are having a different change in your routines also, where you are going through all the problems actually. That is while you're building the team of 10. And that building team of 10, it cannot do if you have very strong communication with your upline. That team of 10 has to be taken to 30 then. So there are different stages in network marketing. So first is building a team of 10, and then is taking that 10 to 30. You cannot, the maximum grind actually that you go through is not in building an organization of 1,000 or 500. The maximum grind actually that you go through is building a team of 10 and taking it to 30. And that building 30 is actually called building critical mass in network marketing, building critical mass. All the hardships you go through is while you are learning how to build a critical mass. So when an upline is working with you on ground, that's the time of maximum hardships that you go through. That you can only do it better if you are pulling the string towards this side and your upline is trying to pull it towards the side. There is a lot of wastage of energy and time that's happening. I realized today, if I look back, I realized while my upline was pushing me towards this side, if I, instead of pushing on the opposite side, if I get pulled towards that side, it's it would be faster actually. What my upline wants, I'll reach there faster. And that's what I actually understand. The biggest problem that happened in my journey initially. And there are lots of ups and downs that happened even after that. I built a team of 25, 30 initial days mein, after VCon. Then so VCon did magic. I came back in next 4 or 5 months. I built a team of 20, 25. Again, I was doing the same mistakes. I was following, but I was following this time. I was following just a little better, because I realized what are the mistakes that I had done initial days, in my initial days. So you understand the process of creating a murti, how the sculpture does. So there's a story, yeah. So there's a story of stone. So एक stone होता है, बेसिकली 2 stones होते हैं, ओके. एक stone जो होता है, दोनों इकट्ठे एक ही जगह से आते हैं, एवरीथिंग इज सेम, बट एक की मूर्ति बनती है और एक को सीढ़ियों पे लगाया जाता है. जो सीढ़ियों वाला स्टोन है वो बड़ा परेशान होता है, and in all complaining mode he asks the stone in the murti. He says, this is so wrong, na? both of us have come from the same origin, but look at you, everybody comes and do worship, and look at me, everybody just walks over me. The stone in the murti actually gives a very brilliant answer, and the stone in the murti asks, it's not, if you look, nothing is wrong in the scenario, because when the sculpture was hitting me and chiseling me, I was allowing that sculpture to do that. While it was painful, I kept on allowing that sculpture to keep on chiseling me till the time that murti became. While you, one hit, one chisel, and you started making noises only. That's why you are today there on the seat only, on the stairs. Everybody's walking over you, and today everybody comes to me and do worship, because I allowed the sculpture to do the chiseling work. So ask yourself, first thing is, ask yourself if there is a sculpture around you, somebody around you who's there, who's willing to chisel you, who's willing to show you the way, who's willing to put in hard work on you and change you into a murti. The second question that you need to ask is, if there is such a person, what are you doing about it? Are you allowing that sculpture to keep on chiseling and keep on chiseling and keep on chiseling till the time you reach that point where you become a murti? Or you are delaying the process. You are saying to the sculpture, yeah, you chisel me, and the moment the sculpture hits you with an instrument, you start making noises. So the question that you need to ask is, are you ready to get chiseled? So how many of you want to become max outs? How many of you want to become diamond? How many of you want to go up on stage on VCon and inspire millions of people around the world? How many of you are ready to get chiseled also? That's the question that you got to ask. There are small things that you can actually do to check whether you are doing that or not. Okay, lower your hands, guys. Lower your hands, no problem. There are small things that you can check. This relationship is one of the most beautiful relationships that you can get if you look. This relationship is not just business transactional relationship. This relationship, if you work on it, it can become more than any. Today, my uplines are, my entire family knows. You can say anything to me. You can't say a single word about my uplines. Because of not they are my uplines alone. No, because of the relationship that I have built with them. Because I did not grow for first 1.25 year, because I used to follow to my upline. I used to listen. Okay, there's a difference in between listen and understanding. I used to listen but I used to never understand. I understood only what I wanted to understand. At times, what the mistake that I've seen, I used to do also, is we listen just to listen only, so that upline knows that I'm listening. Ask yourself a question that whether I'm listening just to listen or I'm listening to understand so that I can execute. Because if you're just listening to listen, it's not going to change everything. But if you listen to understand, only then you can apply it also. When we start this journey, the problem is all of us want to become leaders. Right? How many of you want to become leaders? All of you. But the problem is, for you to become a leader, you got to follow first. You got to follow first. That's the first thing. If you're not following, how will you become a leader? So are you willing to follow? And I'm not saying conditional following. I'm saying 100% following. I tell you, I was in extreme pain. This is the time before I actually started business. Started growing. So my first 1 year, 1.5 year, it was slow, relatively slow. I was making money. I had small team also, but I was not seeing the multiplication happening. How many of you want to understand multiplication, or you want to have that multiplication or exponential growth? Yeah. I wanted to have that, but that was just not happening. And one day I watched a video sitting on the YouTube. I watched a video and by a gentleman called Patrick Bet-David. So he's running one of the biggest American insurance companies, North American insurance companies in last 15 years, multi-millionaire guy, gem of a person to follow. So I was watching his video, and in his video he said there is a power of 6 months that a lot of people don't understand. 6 months, the span of 6 months is very powerful. But a lot of people don't understand that. All it takes for you to have a very different sort of life is actually 6 months. But a lot of people don't understand 6 months. And I was thinking, what is 6 months? What is 6 months? And then he said, for 6 months, you got to have extreme followership, extreme pain. You have to have one mentor that you are willing to listen and follow 100% for 6 months. Find that one mentor that you are willing to listen and follow 100%. 6 months, you decide that short-term pain I'm going to go through in order to have long-term gain. But that 6 months has to be consistent, okay? I'll tell you guys, just to tell you right now, only check with your upline also. But you are not here in this business to show plans for the rest of your life. You're not here to do rule 3 or 5+C for the rest of your life. How many of you want to do 5+C every single day next 10 years also? No. That's why you started this journey, to create a system faster, so that then the system works for you and not you work for the system. That can only happen if you decide that 6 months time will start from today. Yes. And that's when I was sitting there as a student again. I said, let's do it. Let's have that 6 months. In that 6 months, whatever comes, this business is going to be the number one priority. Whatever comes, that person, whatever it will tell me, I'll follow that 100%. And luckily, that person was a fine by. So I said, my upline was already there. He knows this business. Why to listen to the person, somebody from the outside who doesn't know my journey? I said, let me follow my upline only. Na? He has got 10 years experience. Let me follow him. Guys, you won't believe. That shift in mindset, every single POA I was going to, I had my diary with me and a pen with me. Whatever my upline was saying, I was writing. I used to come back. I used to think whether I am doing it or not. Next day, I used to do it. Whatever my upline was telling me, I started applying it every single day. without delay. Whatever, small, big, whatever he's saying, I used to apply it. 6 months time, my team grew more than 100. Next 6 months, more than 300. Next 6 months, Sapphire happened. Next 6 months, 7 people in my team got Sapphire. Next 6 months, I'm right now going through. Platinum, inshallah, is going to happen. So I'm telling you right now, platinum is going to happen. But that cannot happen if the first 6 month period I did not go through. Check who's calling. So you'd have to invest in this relationship. Check who's calling who more. Your upline is calling you more every single day, or you are calling your upline. You might think, what has it to do with the business? It has everything to do with the business. Because if you are calling your upline more, that means this is your business. You are taking ownership of it. You are taking ownership of the relationship. Because if there is a mentor, I understood Fahim bhai, I have one upline, but Fahim bhai has hundreds of people like me. For him to give me all the time, I need to be on top of his mind. I started taking ownership of this relationship also. So when you are building this business, check small things. Not following your upline is not just by words. You genuinely got to understand. All of you might, even if you have one person also in your team, technically you are an upline. No? You only think, even if that person does whatever wrong, can you ever think bad of that person? Right? Then how is it possible that your upline thinks bad of you? You must decide that today is the day when you are going to start following 100%. Because this relationship, I'm telling you right now, if you genuinely invest in this relationship, if you genuinely build this relationship, tomorrow this relationship is not going to be there just as an upline. Actually, it's going to, today my upline is not just my upline. Today my upline is my brother. Today my upline is my go-to person on personal stuff also. Today my upline is my financial guru also. Today my upline's VP SHARFUN. Whenever I'm planning anything, buying a car, buying another luxury watch, or whatever you think of, I go to my upline what to do, because I know he or she will never tell me anything that's not wrong, or in fact it's in fact better. So check if that sort of relationship you have, because your upline is always there. At times you see your upline is pushing you, and you might think, yeah, my upline is being reasonable, he's not understanding what I'm going through. Bullshit. Your upline understands that because he has also gone through all of that. Don't judge. If you genuinely want to grow, 6 months is what it takes. But in those 6 months, you got to start with the relationship. So I'll show you one last video and we'll end today's session. And this is actually what is the relationship of an upline and a downline.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up
Okay.
to more than I can be.
So guys, at times you might not understand. You might have a painful journey, but you must know there is upline standing there who will appear whenever you need. But you must hold his hand, because when he comes there, he cannot do anything if you are not willing to hold his hand. And luckily, all of us have that person in our life. It's just that we don't lift our hand to hold his hand. And you never know how long that guy is going to be there in your life, because life is life. It's unpredictable. So after this session, I want you all to take a decision and start from a ground where you are willing to have that 6 months in your life. And that 6 months, hold the hand of that person and decide to follow that person 100%. And let him chisel you. It's going to be painful. But 5 years' time, you'll look back and you can tell your people that I'm not the same Mohit who started this journey. I'm not the same David who started this journey. I'm not the same Sovik who has started this journey. I'm not the same Pranab who has started this journey. Then you can tell that there was one person who actually had me changing the entire life for myself. So start appreciating the presence of that person from today. And then together you can do wonders. So with this, I'll end the session for today. This is what I wanted to share, how my upline actually changed my life. So take care, guys.